is never an option.
You know, I really wanted to play Quidditch, but we're kind of a football family.
All hail Megatron!
Didn't you play for Detroit?
Interception!
Cheap shot. Kind of deserve that. Let's see your game face.
It's just a swish and a flick. Ugh, you're uncoachable.
Is everyone ready?
On the hop!
The off-season is on, so take your vacation game to the next level. Universal Parks and Resorts.
Might be set up for a fantastic finish. 4:52 remaining in regulation. It's a one-point game. Eagles at their own 47-yard line.
Now, you know what was interesting? By going for it on fourth down there, Doug Peterson, you'd almost prefer to have given New England the shorter field. Even if they score a touchdown, it's an 8-point game, right? And you're still going to get it back. You couldn't have them bleed the clock. This is crazy. For the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously, best case scenario now, establish your running game, milk the clock a little bit, but you can't imagine a scenario where Tom Brady's not getting this back.
Peterson knows no fear. He's seen that in evidence plenty tonight. Blunt is the running back. LeGarrette Blunt into a lot of traffic. End of a yard, maybe two, a little shy of the first down, second and long.
But that really gives you some options now. Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, to make that first down run stop. Now you have everything on the table. James Harrison, the old wily veteran out there on the left-hand side. Does he have one trick up his sleeve? We've seen him with some late moment success. Late in games to win them with big sacks.
Second down and 9. Foles flushed out, throws, and that is caught. And staying in bounds is Aguilar. And that will move the chains. Covered by Chung. Good catch.
James Harrison was coming off the edge, and Nick Foles had no choice. He had to escape, get out, but he has made these throws on the run tonight. Harrison now starting to size up Vaitai with this bull rush. Just get ready. He's going to give him a changeup. He's going to grab that outside arm and bend it, and we'll see. I've seen this changeup before.
From the 43. Four-man rush. Foles fires, caught over the middle. To the 22 goes Nelson Aguilar. Another first down.
I just can't tell you how impressed I am with Nick Foles and what he's doing. He stared right down the barrel. There was another tiny little window to get that one in with plenty of coverage all around it. And yet Nick Foles just continues to play like he's been doing this his entire life, battling against the likes of Tom Brady.
Meanwhile, Chung is down on one knee for an injury timeout.
You good? There you go. You step through for me. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. If you want to grab your belongings.
I didn't do anything.
I'm just going to need you guys to follow me.
But what are we doing in here?
More security.
My name is Sydney Karan. I was diagnosed with pediatric cancer when I was 14 years old.
Every time you buy a Hyundai, a portion of those proceeds go to childhood cancer research.
You helped save my child's life and the life of so many children.
So I'd like to say thank you, except I would like to say it in person. Hi, oh my God, can I hug you?
I was not ready for
I just want to thank you for owning a Hyundai.
No idea.
I'm glad to be able to do that. It feels good. This is home.
Lori Foles and little Lily at 7 months old with the headset on, playing with one of the toys there. And there is Dad with 307. What a night he has had. 352 yards, 1,081 yards tonight so far. Most in any NFL postseason game ever.
Nick Foles, when asked questions about his wife and child this week, got choked up and couldn't finish the answer. Said, "She is my rock, my wife."
Patrick Chung is out. Johnson Batamosi stays in. Harmon, safety now on first down. Aguilar chased that by Harmon. Chris, you know what's so great about this game is that the game has been terrific from start to finish. I mean, last year people say, well, great Super Bowl. Overtime, it was 28-3.
The game has been relentless. Just relentless. I mean, as great as the halftime entertainment was, and it was fantastic, this game has been as good as Justin Timberlake.
Start to finish. Only one punt all night. Very few penalties as well.
That was a big force out of bounds right there, though.
2:37. Ball at the 14-yard line. Through the middle. Jockey backing up. Gets the ball down to the 12-yard line. And the Patriots are going to take a timeout. So they've now taken 2. They have 1 left plus the 2-minute warning.
Which makes everything on the table here. Let's say that they go down inside and get inside for a first down. Boy, things start to get really interesting from there because of that lost timeout early in the half by the Patriots.
How much time do you really need for Brady to work his magic again? Anyway, first things first, second down and 7 with the ball now at the 11-yard line.
Depends on when the first down happens.
Yep. Clement in the backfield. Big night for him, 100 receiving yards. Take it to him, throw to the end zone, and it's incomplete. A little pushing and shoving there with Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. Covered by Gilmore. Tomlin's roommate, third down and 7.
This has been the story right there. Gilmore has been fantastic. They did not start the game with Gilmore following Jeffrey. He made a few big plays, made the touchdown. They've switched back, and he is taking over the game on the outside.
Huge play here. Of course, they can take the lead with a field goal. They get a touchdown. Almost certainly go for 2 to try and make it a 7-point game. First things first. Third down and 7 from the 12.
Zach Ertz out wide, one-on-one.
Clement flares out to the right. Caught over the middle and into the end zone. Zach Ertz for the touchdown. And again, all you can think back to now is the Jesse James play with Pittsburgh. Does he complete the process?
I don't know. That ball comes loose. He does catch it. But at what point is it loose on the ground?
Gets inside McCourty, who stumbles. Ball pops out.
I'm not even taking a guess.
No.
As he was rolling over, it looked like that's when the ball came out. Does he control it when it gets off the ground? There is... Does the ball actually make contact with the ground?
He has control of it here. Ball pops out. Al Riveron is the head of officiating. I'm sure in Pittsburgh they're going, are you kidding me? If they call Jesse James back, what are they going to do with this one?
I think they have to overturn it. Now, the question was he a runner? Was he going to the ground in the process of the catch? If he were a runner, and crosses the line and dives, it would have been a touchdown. But if he's still a receiver going to the ground in the process of the catch, I think this is incomplete.
Yep. If I had to guess, I'd say it's going to get overturned. This drive began with 9:22 on the clock, taking off 7 minutes. Now, if it gets overturned, it's going to make it 4th down. And in all likelihood, the field goal unit comes in.
I cannot wait for them to change this rule.
Hopefully by the end of the game.
Oh my goodness, that is so close. Because he had control on the ground for a second, and then he rolled over, and then it popped up. So was it the ground that popped it up, or did he just lose control of it?
Well, you knew that the catch, no catch thing was going to rear its ugly head before this night was done.
The question in my mind was he going to the ground in the part of the catch?
If they rule him a runner, it stays as a touchdown. The whole thing is do you rule him a runner at this point?
Move.
Did they call him a runner? He breaks the plane as a runner. If it stays, that's going to be the reason.
I think he was running and diving for the end zone, but what constitutes going to the ground? It's always close. It's subjective.
But it's always, if you're a runner, it's one thing. If you receive it, it's another thing. If they rule that he was a runner, it's going to stand.
After review, the receiver possesses the football, becomes a runner, breaks the plane of the goal line. The ruling is confirmed. It is a touchdown.
They have to go for 2. Julie Ertz, soccer star, just watched her husband get into the end zone.
Here we go. Well, we know what their first 2-point conversion play was. It was the reverse. They scored the touchdown on the pass to Foles. You know they have at least 3 in their hip pocket. We're going to see number 2 right here.
.221 in a 5-point game right now. That man will be back shortly. Burton comes in motion to the inside. Foles rolling, throwing, and it's incomplete. Headed for Clement. He was covered there by Van Noy, so it remains a 5-point game.
It's a good play here by Van Noy. He's made a few tonight. Forced him up underneath and didn't give a real angle for Foles to make this play here. Foles looked back for his inside receiver. That option not there, and just took a shot. Ooh, a little early contact on that one. Was he a runner? Would he have gone to the ground? I think there was contact on the part of McCourty there. In the process of that play, if McCourty wasn't there, would Ertz have been going to the ground? That's a hard call.
Very. But they ruled him a runner at that point, and the call stands. You knew there would be something crazy at the end. You knew it.
Always. And now guess what? Tom Brady with 2:21.
Might as well have a month. 2:21, the 2-minute warning, and a timeout. He's got all day. 3 possessions for New England in this half. All 3 have resulted in touchdowns.
What a game.
11 game-winning drives, 4th quarter or overtime. 5. In other words, all of the games that he has won, the Super Bowl games he has won, he's had a comeback. Does he make it a half dozen?
3 straight 75-yard drives for Tom Brady for touchdowns. Can he do it a 4th?
White in the backfield. Starts with the pass to the outside, Gronkowski, and he will step out of bounds. Bradham stops the clock. Brady and Gronkowski, after Gronk had only one catch for 9 yards in the first half. Whole different story here.
Missed the early seam and then just got hot. Really took over. Anytime it was Gronk one-on-one, the ball was going to him, just as it does in all big situations, and I have no doubt in my mind it'll happen again.
2nd and 2.
Uh-oh.
Brady gets hit. The ball is out, and Philadelphia has it. Derek Barnett comes away with it. Brandon Graham was one of the guys who got in there. And it's New England's only turnover of the game. And it's the first sack of the game.
Just like the New York Giants back in the day, taking an outside pass rusher in Brandon Graham and putting him inside against the guard, Shaq Mason, pays huge dividends with the first sack fumble of the game. No question, that ball is out.
That stands absolutely no question. The rookie Barnett, their #1 pick out of Tennessee.
Number 73 is reporting as an eligible receiver. 73 is eligible.
So 2:09. New England has a timeout. The clock can stop twice. They can take a timeout. You can also have the 2-minute warning. They can limit Philadelphia to a field goal. It would still be a 1-possession game. It would be 8 points. New England would be out of timeouts. 2:09. Ball at the 31-yard line. Keep it on the ground. Make them take the timeout. LeGarrette Blount to the 28-yard line. 2:03. That took 6 seconds. And there's your final timeout. It will stop once more at the 2-minute warning.
Brandon Graham has been their best all season at getting pressure. Here he goes from the defensive tackle position. Ordinarily, he plays outside. They have been working him more and more on the inside for that very reason. Get your best pass rushers on the field. That allowed Chris Long to get on the field, Barnett on the other side, and it has been so frustrating all night long for this Philadelphia Eagles defense, and yet with everything on the line, they finally get to Brady.
Nick Foles on the sideline. Brady checking the replay.
I've seen this movie too many times to think this game is over.
2nd and 7. Second to the outside. And still charging is LeGarrette Blount. So that takes us to the 2-minute warning. It comes with officially 1:56. It'll be 3rd down and 5 on the other side of the break in Super Bowl 52.
Such a simple thing. Clean water at the turn of a tap. It's like magic. It takes no time at all. And yet millions of people in the developing world walk up to 6 hours every day for water. This chalice can change that. If just 1% of you watching this buys one, we could give clean water to 1 million people for 5 years. Join Stella Artois and Water.org and help give back their precious time.
How many car ads have you seen with grandiose speeches over the years? Big declarations, making claims to some overarching human truth. Companies call these commercials manifestos. There's your manifesto.
Sometimes the signs are hard to ignore. Whenever you see clothes this clean, that's a Tide ad.
Clean clothes may be an indication of a Tide ad. Tide users experience 10 times more cleaning power. Tide is America's #1 detergent in America.
When I held you for the first time, you were my purpose. This was my dad's favorite day, so I celebrate him. You have changed the way I think about love.
your questions will be answered. This is Us after the game on NBC.
One Michigan Wolverine on the left, the other on the right. Graham creates the turnover. Brady gives it up. Here it is again.
I'll tell you, Brandon Graham has a reputation of relentless effort. And Jeffrey Lurie said, yeah, we're playing the Patriots. This is not over.
Yeah, he was in the movie business. You're right. He's seen this movie before, too.
Now, do you have the guts to throw it one more time, or are you just taking that clock?
3rd down and 5. See what Peterson calls here. Keep it on the ground, give it to Blunt, and stuff him at the 28-yard line. So that's Butler. Now they can take the clock all the way down to a little over a minute and try to make it an 8-point game with a field goal attempt.
Yeah, with a field goal with a rookie kicker and Jake Elliott, you miss it. You're going to place the ball out around the 35-yard line, something like that, and turn it over to Brady with a chance to win. How much pressure could be on this kick for Jake Elliott?
Well, this rookie kicker in his second game as an Eagle kicked a 61-yarder at the gun to beat the Giants back in Week 3. Peterson says take the clock all the way down and take the timeout right here with 70 seconds.
30-second timeout.
There it is, the Lombardi Trophy. Does it make its way to Broad Street? The main drag in Philadelphia?
They have had some parties for championships there, but I've been around Philadelphia football fans. This might be the biggest one of all. They bring this thing home.
This is the capper. I mean, the Phillies and the Flyers and the 76ers have all had big-time parades. This would be the capper.
You can assume nothing here. The snap, the hold, you know whatever rush the Patriots have, you're going to see it right here.
46-yard attempt. Lovato to snap it. Donnie Jones to hold it. And it is good. Big time. 65 seconds. So Brady has to get it all the way down the field and then a 2-point conversion.
You just cannot imagine the amount of pressure, and to rotate that ball with the laces straight back. We saw that in a playoff game before in a missed field goal. To calmly spin those laces around and give the young rookie a free swing at it. It's a great job by Jake Elliott, but nice job by Donnie Jones too.
41-33. Robert Kraft. His team has gone to 9 Super Bowls. Counting this one.
Same situation, right, as last year. They needed 8.
Yep.
They go down, they score, they get the 2-point conversion, they win it in overtime.
So Elliott to kick off. Dion Lewis, and here he's a guy, we saw him on a Sunday night in Denver. Run one back for a touchdown, and this is returnable from the 6-yard line. He's going to flip it back to Burkhead, but he's going to get wrapped up and knocked down back at the 7-yard line.
That is a really interesting call. You go for the home run shot, I guess, but that play almost took the ball right out of Tom Brady's hands. Going to come with the reverse, back the other way, short kick, gave him an opportunity. But oh, baby.
Yep. And you took several seconds off the clock as well.
I think that was part of the reason they kicked it short. They wanted that clock running.
So from the 9, he's got to go 91 yards and convert a 2-pointer. And Brady begins by slinging one to an open receiver, and that's Hogan, but he can't make the catch. Got free down the sideline. 2nd down.
Chris Long with a little pressure here on this one, and the significance now of being able to protect the boundaries. We've seen that in the playoffs with Stephon Diggs' play. You need to keep them in bounds now because it's going to be very difficult to get up there and get that next play going.
Chris Long, son of Howie, trying to win back-to-back Super Bowls. Did it with the Patriots last year. 2nd and 10. Brady under pressure, flushed out, slings it across his body and incomplete. Intended there for James White. It'll be 3rd down and 10. It was Derek Barnett putting the pressure on.
I can remember in the Super Bowl, I can't even remember which one it was now, but there was a play at the end of it where Brady was sort of in this situation. I think it was against the Giants. He sort of looked right, pump fake, moved a little bit right, and then threw a go route back across the field to Randy Moss streaking down here, and it was close.
That was the first game against the Giants. Brady now under pressure, almost gets sacked, incomplete. Pocket collapsed. They're down to their last play to try to keep it going. 4th and 10.
Fletcher Cox finally with the pressure that made a difference. So these big guys, it's taken them all game. But back-to-back, their 2 best pass rushers, their 2 best players on this defense coming up big. Chris Long's been a factor too.
This is it for New England. 4th and 10 from the 9. Brady fires, and that'll keep it going. Amendola up at the 20-yard line, but the clock keeps on ticking. What a catch. Yeah, tremendous. Now Brady's got to get up there, clock it here. 26 seconds now, and still 78 yards away.
Well, you desperately need something to at least give you Hail Mary position. And I'm sure that Josh McDaniels has to be thinking, what do we have to do to win this football game? We've been going up and down the field. But here it is. You need something around the 50-yard line to just have a few shots into the end zone.
Brady, short pass. Gronk was just trying to get out of bounds, and he does. Now you got 20 seconds. Ball at the 33, 67 yards away.
Still time to throw something over the middle if you had to. Hustle up, spike it, and still have a shot at the end zone.
And that would go down in history, let me tell you. Brady. Now he's going to throw short. Gronkowski needs to get out of bounds and does.
There he is.
Boy, oh boy. Almost pulled a little Stephon Diggs routine there.
Wow.
Stayed in bounds. That took 7 seconds off. Now you got 13.
Well, when he dipped inside, took your breath away, but here it is. And you've got one of the great rebounders in football history running down the field. Gronkowski is going to get a shot at the very least with a jump ball, but not before the Eagles talk about it.
30-second timeout.
The Philadelphia Eagles, a guy whose name we need to mention here too is Howie Roseman, the general manager who did a phenomenal job. Free agents, trades, worked the salary cap. There he is, the guy who was kind of the odd man out when he lost a power struggle with Chip Kelly a couple of years ago. Brought him back in. Phenomenal job building this team.
Absolutely is. I kind of thought that we might end up seeing one of the receivers come in and play DB at the end of this game in case you got the jump ball, but nobody in.
Well, they got 3 DBs back at the 20. Brady fires, and it's almost picked off. That took 4 seconds. That's Darby, intended for Philip Dorsett. And you've got 9 seconds.
I would rather have 2 shots in the end zone here than that 9 yards.
And then you pray for, if not a completion, at least maybe you get a defensive pass interference call.
There is nobody anywhere close to as tall as Rob Gronkowski. I would jam him at the line of scrimmage. I would not let him run freely off this ball.
Brady under pressure, escapes the sack, launching one for the end zone. It's a jump ball and it's incomplete. And Gronk was there. And time runs out.
This is the end of the game.
And for the Philadelphia Eagles, the long drought is over. Finally. Last championship, 1960, pre-Super Bowl era. And the Philly fans, the dream has finally come true. Lombardi Trophy going to Philadelphia. For Tom Brady, a Super Bowl loss, just a phenomenal game.
There were a lot of unbelievable plays in this game. But for my money, it came back to the call by Doug Peterson on 4th and 1 on the goal line. He was relentless with his play calling. He never gave an inch. But this came very close. They do not jam Gronkowski off the ball, and he is going to get a shot.
This is similar to what happened in the Giants Patriots' second Super Bowl when Gronkowski was in the end zone. The ball is up for grabs.
It was that last bounce of the ball. One of the Eagles deflected it back up into the air, and it looked like the Patriots had a shot, but they just couldn't get anybody to the ball.
Another game, another Super Bowl game that ends on the last play. Go to Michelle.
Well, I'm with Brandon Graham. Brandon, there had been no sacks in this game, but when Tom Brady got the ball back with just under 2.5 minutes, and maybe when it mattered most, you got there. How did you do it?
Just kept going. You know, we said we needed to play. If we got one more opportunity, we was going to give everything we got. And I just so happened to get there. And, you know, I'm just thankful because we got a team that's resilient. You know, we're going to stick around for a long time because we world champs, baby. And it feels so good.
I saw the emotions on your face when I walked up. The first Lombardi Trophy for the city of Philadelphia and for the Eagles. Your daughter, Abigail Emerson, turned 2 today.
Yes.
Your wife's birthday is tomorrow. What do you think that reunion with your girls is going to be like?
Hey, I guess that's one gift that I don't have to get because I had to play hard for this one. But, you know, I'm just happy because we are world champs and we worked our butt off, and everybody that doubted us, we world champs, baby. And that's all I got to say.
Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
Al.
All right, Michelle. Man, oh, man. Underdogs in all 3 postseason games. Beat Atlanta. Destroy Minnesota. Rout them. And tonight come away with a 41-33 win. That's Philadelphia on the last play of the game at Xfinity Live. And they will get ready for a parade. For Bill Belichick, a Super Bowl loss. 5 wins, 3 defeats. Nick Foles, Saint Nick is what they were calling him. What a story for Jeff Lurie, who's owned this team since the mid-90s. It finally comes true, and there are the Crafts, Robert and Jonathan, watching the last play of the game. What tension, what emotion, what a game. Presentation of the Lombardi Trophy and the Super Bowl 52 MVP when we come back.
Sean White gets it going.
Oh my goodness. White comes in with heavy contact.
make the internet better for everyone. You make it faster for all. Introducing a true revolution in internet speed from Spectrum with game-changing new starting speeds of 200 megabits. That's double our previous speed, plus the all-new Spectrum Internet Gig with speeds up to